How important is keeping Marcus Rashford long-term for Manchester United? Does he need, also, this is the side note question, does he need a striker partner, and why should it be Harry Kane? That's just me asking that side. But how important is Marcus Rashford in terms of the long-term project for Manchester United?
Well, of course he is. I mean, I don't think he wants to go anywhere. He wants to leave. I think it's going to be also important for him to confirm this sort of form, right? We've been waiting for this for a long, long time. We've been talking about the inconsistency in his career so far. It wasn't an easy because it was during the time where obviously United have been unsettled for a long time since Sir Alex Ferguson has gone. But I do think that as we've seen today, I think he's much, much more dangerous on the left-hand side. I think, given the fact that I think, again, Manchester United are going to be a big team, big boys fighting for all the big trophies, you need depth in squad. So even if you didn't think they needed it, for that reason alone. So I don't see him going anywhere. I don't see him wanting to go anywhere. Rob may probably have some more information in terms of his feelings about Manchester United. But of course, he's important. And I think he needs to, I don't know if prove that again next season. But for me, he's a 20-plus goal scorer every season. He should be.
Rob, thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, it just shows how quickly football can change. In that, Marcus had a particularly poor season last year, and there was talk of him possibly going to PSG. PSG being interested. Actually, parts of his entourage went to meet PSG, and there were United fans at that time who were saying that maybe Marcus does need a change of scenery. Maybe he does need to go somewhere else and fulfil this potential that we all know he's had. Fast forward a couple of months, and really he's irreplaceable for Man United. He's in that impressive form. Man United fans don't want to see him go anywhere. And also on the flip side of that, Marcus has said repeatedly that he's obviously loved Man United. He's come up through the academy, but he also wants to win trophies. Last year United were miles away from winning trophies, and all of a sudden under Erik ten Hag, they look capable of not only winning trophies like the Carabao Cup, which they've already done this season, but also challenging maybe for the Premier League title next season. They'll be in the Champions League next season, you would assume, maybe even get into the sort of the latter stages of the Champions League. So not only is Marcus Rashford sort of cemented his position as someone that Man United really can't do without anymore, United have also shown him that they are capable of matching his ambition. And you only have to look at someone like, I don't know, Jude Bellingham, for example. United were linked with him last year, and everyone just assumed that he would go nowhere near Man United because they were struggling so much on the field. And you said that Liverpool were miles ahead of them in the race for his signature. All of a sudden, it's flipped a little bit. United look the most likely to win trophies, most likely to challenge at the top of the Premier League table, and Liverpool are struggling a little bit. And that's kind of what's happened with Marcus. United have shown him, I think, under Erik ten Hag, that this is the place that he can win trophies now.
Yep, and just like ESPN and Janusz Michallik, we can't do without Janusz Michallik. Janusz Michallik is very important to ESPN, and we have to say goodbye to Janusz Michallik.
You got Rob. He was there. He's more important. See you guys.
Janusz, have a fantastic rest of your day. Thank you so much. Rob Dawson will stay with us for a little bit longer. Keep sending your questions, everybody. We got a good one here, Rob, from a fan. If you're building a team right now, Rob Dawson, because you're the best person to answer this, I think, covering both Manchester clubs. Are you picking Erling Haaland or Marcus Rashford as your striker?
What a question. I mean, you've set me up for a massive fall there with whatever I say. Obviously, you can't deny Erling Haaland's numbers. They are absolutely out of this world. And Marcus Rashford has a way to go to match those numbers. Even this season, it's his most productive season. He is miles away from producing the amount of goals that Haaland has. All I would say, the question specifically says, if I was building a team. Now, Marcus Rashford, I think if he signs a new contract with Man United, he will be at Man United for the rest of his career. He will be here until he's 35, 40 years old, possibly. I think it's pretty well known that Erling Haaland has ambitions away from Man City at some stage. Now, I'm not suggesting that he's going to leave in the summer or even the summer after that, but it's fairly well known that he would like to play at Real Madrid, for example. Now, City are going to benefit from a fantastic striker for this year, obviously, for next year, probably, and the year after, probably. But at some stage, he is going to want to go to Real Madrid. Now, that's not the type of striker that you would build an entire team around. Pep Guardiola is lucky enough that his squad is so fantastic that he can drop these players in, perform fantastically well and win trophies and then move on. But in terms of actually building a team, which is what Man United are trying to do, they're building a team ultimately to try and catch City, you'd have to say that because Marcus Rashford is probably going to stick around for an awful lot longer than at United than Haaland is at City, that you would have to pick Rashford. What I would say that with the caveat to all that is that Haaland has shown year after year that he is capable of scoring fantastic amounts of goals. This is the first year really where Rashford is hitting those levels of sort of 30 plus goals. He's had a couple of years where he's had 20 goal seasons, but he needs to do that consistently. He's 25 years old now. He needs to do that this year and next year and the year after to show that he's really in that top bracket of striker.
Yeah, I think the only caveat to the answer for that, it's a very tricky one, is it all depends on what else you're building around that. Because Erling Haaland is a player that you build around. I feel Marcus Rashford is a player that can emphatically help you in a diverse wide of spaces. So it's a very tricky one, though. Both equally talented, both the Premier League very lucky, both Manchester very lucky to have.
Horrible question to answer. Horrible question.
It's terrible. We're never going to please anybody with that kind of question. All right, here's another one, by the way. Rob was talking about Jude Bellingham. Could Manchester United actually land him? Who would they have to offload if it's a realistic chance?
Yeah, I mean, again, it's an interesting one because 12 months ago you would have said it would have absolutely no chance. I think things have changed a little bit. United are still in the market for a midfielder. They're interested in Frenkie de Jong is well documented. If Bellingham is on the market in the summer, which we are led to believe that he is, United will be in the queue. Now, there are going to be other clubs in the queue as well because he's such a fantastic player and so in demand. Real Madrid, Manchester City, Liverpool will be among the clubs who are looking to sign him. I think United, the bulk of their summer budget will go on a striker. You talked about players like Harry Kane. They're going to cost an awful lot of money, and United at the moment are walking a little bit of a tightrope with FFP regulations. So it's unlikely that they could spend 100 plus million on a striker and then 125 million euros on Bellingham as well. That said, I think that United have come into the conversation a little bit more with Bellingham than perhaps they were last season. And Liverpool for a long time have been seen as the team in the Premier League, or one of the teams in the Premier League that Bellingham would like to join. The point I was making before was simply that those roles have reversed a little bit. United are going to be in the Champions League next year. Liverpool possibly not. So if you were Jude Bellingham looking for a club to join in the summer, I don't think United now is as far away from that conversation as perhaps they were 6 months ago.
Yeah, the momentum clearly changed. That's just obvious. Even amazingly, even from the 7-0 losses. It's amazing what a couple of matches do. Let me ask you something, Rob, and this is my selfish question. So fans, you got to get in line here. I want to ask something here because, business aside, Rob, Dawson, politics aside, even financial fair play aside, just from a purely footballing perspective, Rob, it seems to me, honestly, that Harry Kane would fit perfectly here. Perfectly. Because not only is he going to be able to score goals, but he's versatile. He can drop deep. He would work so well with already an England team member in Marcus Rashford. I just feel like the connect. Bruno Fernandes also gives me that sort of Heung-min Son kind of partnership. To me, it's like a perfectly match made in heaven. To Manchester United fans, reporters, maybe insiders, do they also think the same, or is the pool bigger? What do you think?
No, I mean, I think he is certainly on the list as United look for an out-and-out number 9, a striker who's going to score them goals. The list of positives to signing Harry Kane is massive. He's Premier League proven. He would slot straight into that team as the focal point of the attack. He's got, he mentioned some of the players that he would have around him. With due respect to Spurs, better players than he's now playing with at Spurs to create those chances for him. He's at the time of his career where he's absolutely desperate to win trophies. He's about as guaranteed goals as you can possibly get. And no signing, nothing in football is guaranteed. But if you were looking for guaranteed goals in the Premier League, Harry Kane is as close to that as you're going to get. There are difficulties with that deal. Daniel Levy, the way that he negotiates, United are put off a little bit by that. They want a striker in early, and Tottenham have this reputation of kind of negotiating all the way to deadline, which would put United off. But yeah, I mean, you're exactly right. If you're looking purely from a football perspective, Harry Kane is, or would appear to be, the right man for Man United. And it's important to United are looking for a striker. United have said to us sort of away from privately, there is no magic pot of amazing strikers that they're going to delve into. They're not going to pluck some unknown, fantastic striker out of the blue that no one's ever heard of. The strikers that are being reported as targets are the strikers they want because they are the best in Europe. Harry Kane is one of, if not the best centre forward in the world, and he wants to win trophies. And there is, United have got a void for a striker. Why wouldn't they be looking at him? They should absolutely be definitely looking at someone like Harry Kane.
Yeah, and by the way, Tottenham fans, I actually think it would be good for you if he left and you kind of remodeled it, because there's too much of a reliance on him. Anyway, that's for another YouTube episode. That's for another segment, whether it's here or ESPN FC TV. Very quickly, Rob Dawson, the final comment from a fan before we say goodbye. Rashford has now equaled the number of games played for Manchester United. That's 346 matches. Is he on the way of becoming a club legend as Cristiano Ronaldo?
I think so. It's easier for the guys that come through United's academy to become club legends because the fans are just desperate for them to do so well. Rashford's a local lad. He's won trophies. He's not won the trophies that he wants to win, but he has won trophies. He's scored goals. He's starting to score goals regularly. If he was to carry on this form and be the guy that United built around and won the Premier League, won the Champions League, he would absolutely most definitely be a club legend. He's already well on his way. He's probably got another 10 years at least at the top. If he was to carry on the trajectory that he already is, then absolutely. I mean, he would be in kind of statue around the stadium territory if he was to continue on like this, if he was to lead another golden era of Man United success. Obviously, that's what he wants. And the early signs are positive. He just has to kind of carry on the way he's going.
Well, thank you very much for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for live streaming, premium content, and let's not forget as well, ESPN FC 7 days a week. Subscribe to ESPN Plus.